170.
The key to our
Year,
Pierre!
Old abandoned
Engage that game,
spaceship
front to
purchased
north.
$5 at auction. Its alien owner shocks me. Eli Navarro walked through the crowded auction hall, his boots clanging softly on the metal floor. The hall smelled of oil, dust, and old metal. He rubbed his eyes. It was early morning on Vargas. 7. A small industrial colony at the edge of human-controlled space. The colony was famous for hosting auctions of old spacecraft, lost technology, and abandoned cargo ships. Most were junk, but sometimes, rarely, a treasure slipped through the cracks. Eli had always loved old ships. Some people called him crazy, chasing rust and broken parts, but he didn't care. To him, old ships were like frozen stories. They had secrets, memories, and histories. And Eli was good at finding them. He stopped near a dusty corner of the auction hall. The room was full of bidders and curious onlookers, all shouting, waving, and pressing buttons. Most of them ignored the last row where forgotten items were stacked. That's when Eli saw it. A ship. It was unlike anything else there. Its hull was scratched and scarred, a dull silver gray fading into patches of rust. No one paid it any attention. There were no holographic lights flashing around it, no auctioneer hyping it up. Just a small handwritten sign, Lot 3478 to abandoned spacecraft. Unknown origin, 170 years old. Minimum bid, $5. Eli's heart skipped a beat. $5! He glanced at the nearest bidders. They were busy with fancy, shiny ships, laughing at the futuristic auction tech. No one was looking here. He smiled to himself. Is this... Really, $5? He muttered, stepping closer. The ship seemed quiet, almost alive! Its edges were rounded, but unlike human designs, smooth and elegant, almost organic. Eli could feel a faint hum through the floor. Barely noticeable, but it was there. Like a heartbeat, he asked the auction clerk, a young woman with tired eyes. Do you know anything about it? She shrugged. It's been here for decades. No one wants it. Supposedly alien. Came through old space routes. Nobody cares. $5 and it's yours. Eli didn't hesitate. He pressed the bid button. $5. The auctioneer blinked. Do I hear 5? Yes. Sold for $5. Eli grinned. The people around him laughed softly. $5, one called out. That thing's ancient junk. Eli ignored them.
He had a good feeling about this ship. Some instinct told him it wasn't just junk.
By the next day, Eli had the ship towed to a small docking bay. The bay was narrow, crowded with equipment, old tools, and spare parts. The ship rested there like a sleeping beast. Eli circled it slowly. The hull was scratched and worn, but the edges were strangely perfect, like a natural curve, not man-made. There were no logos, no markings he recognized. Even the docking ports were unlike anything in the human database. He ran his hand along the hull.
A faint vibration hummed under his fingers. The ship responded.
It was alive in some way. Eli climbed into the cockpit. The interior was dark, dusty, and silent. Old warning lights blinked weakly, but the displays were in symbols he couldn't read. Strange glyphs floated in midair, etched into panels that glowed faintly when touched. He tried the main console. Nothing happened. He sighed. Old ships are never easy, he muttered. But then he noticed a small, circular object in the center of the console. It pulsed like a heartbeat. Curious, Eli pressed it. The room lit up. Holographic panels projected in the air. Lines of alien symbols swirled before his eyes. Eli blinked, startled. He could feel the energy, almost like the ship was breathing. Then came the voice. Not a sound, but a thought. Who? Wakes me? Eli froze. He looked around. The hall was empty. He shook his head. Hello, who's there? Do not be afraid. I am Xylar. I am awake. Eli's jaw dropped. He stumbled backward. The voice filled his mind, not loud, but clear. It carried knowledge, curiosity, and something else. Something old. I bought the ship. $5, Eli said. His voice shook. $5, the voice repeated, with a hint of amusement. A human. Clever, yet reckless. It has been a long time. Eli's hands trembled. You're alive? I am not alive as you are. I am Xylar. My consciousness is bound to this vessel. I existed before your species mastered space. I have waited. Eli swallowed hard. Waited? For what? For one who could find me, one who could listen. Eli stepped closer to the console.
Listen to what? The galaxy remembers. My creators are gone, but their knowledge remains.
There is much you do not understand. Eli felt a thrill he had never felt before. He was always chasing history, old ships, artifacts. But this was something different. This was alive, ancient, and intelligent. He looked around at the cockpit. Strange lights danced across the walls. The ship's hull seemed to shimmer faintly, responding to his presence. The humming grew louder, matching his own heartbeat. "Why did you wait for me?" Eli asked. Because only one with curiosity, courage, and patience could awaken me. Most would have destroyed me, sold me for parts, or ignored me completely. Eli smiled nervously. Well, I do like old ships. I fix them. I learned from them. But I didn't know. You did not know, but now you do. And now you are part of a story that began long before humans walked among the stars. The ship pulsed once, a soft blue glow spreading through the hull. Eli felt a wave of excitement mixed with fear. He was holding history in his hands. And history was alive. Over the next few hours, Eli explored the ship cautiously. Every corner had strange, unknown technology. Panels glowed when he touched them, and holographic projections revealed strange star maps, alien glyphs, and glimpses of civilizations long gone. He realized the ship was more than a vessel, it was a library of knowledge. A sentient archive floating through space for 170 years. Eli tested the engines. The ship hummed but did not activate. Xylar's presence filled the cockpit. You cannot yet control my systems fully. Patience, human. Learn first. Understand the universe as it once was. Eli nodded. I can do that. I want to learn. Good. But know this. Some secrets are dangerous. Others are powerful beyond your comprehension. And some are being sought even now. Eli's stomach tightened. Sought by who? By those who would claim knowledge without understanding. By those who fear what we once were. You must be careful. The warning only made Eli more determined. He had always believed humans could rise to greatness through courage and cleverness. And now, standing before Xylar, he felt that belief stronger than ever. He looked out at the stars from the cockpit viewport. Endless darkness dotted with tiny points of light. So much to explore, so much to learn, and somewhere out there, perhaps, enemies were already watching. Eli smiled. Well, Xylar, let's see what we can do. The ship pulsed once more, almost like a nod. And in that moment, Eli Navarro knew his life had changed forever. A $5 gamble had led him to the oldest, most powerful secret in the galaxy. And somehow he had survived long enough to awaken it. The stars beyond the docking bay seemed to sparkle brighter that night, as if they knew the story of a human and a 170-year-old alien ship had just begun. The next morning, Eli Navarro returned to his small docking bay before sunrise. He could barely sleep. thinking about the strange, sentient ship he had just bought for $5. The galaxy had many abandoned ships, many treasures hidden in rusted hulls, but nothing like this. Xylar, the ship's consciousness, was unlike anything he had ever encountered. Eli ran his fingers along the control console, watching the strange alien symbols glow faintly under his touch. Every movement seemed to awaken the ship more. He had read manuals and studied old spacecraft for years, but this was beyond human design. Alive. Eli! The voice spoke in his mind as he moved around the cockpit. Do not be afraid. Today, you will see what I truly am. Eli swallowed hard. I'm not afraid, he said, though his voice trembled. I just don't know what to expect. Expect nothing. Observe everything. With that, a soft hum filled the cabin. Lights ran along the walls in patterns that reminded Eli of flowing water. The holographic panels shifted, revealing a network of glowing lines that connected to a central core in the middle of the ship. Eli leaned closer, mesmerized. This is my memory, Xylar explained. It holds the history of a civilization long gone. Their science, their art, their mistakes, all preserved.
And now, you may see it. Eli's eyes widened.
He had studied human history, old spacecraft logs, even alien artifacts, but he had never encountered something this advanced. The memory core pulsed, and images began to appear. Vivid, moving, alive. Cities floating in clouds of light, massive starships with wings like birds, beings made of shimmering energy. This is incredible, Eli whispered.
It is, but understand, Xylar said. It is not just beauty. It is a warning.
They reached far beyond their understanding and paid the price. I was entrusted with their knowledge to survive when they could not.
Eli ran his fingers over the console.
And now you're teaching me! Yes! But slowly. Patience is required. You are human. Death to the turncoat! Your mind is sharp, but you lack the experience to control such power immediately. Eli nodded. He had always prided himself on learning quickly. He had repaired ships that others said were beyond repair, but this was something else entirely. The hours passed as Eli explored the ship. Xylar guided him, showing him alien systems and unusual technology. The engines were unlike anything human engineers had built. No fuel, no combustion, just pure energy flowing through crystalline conduits. The shields could bend light, rendering the ship nearly invisible. Eli couldn't resist running tests. He activated a small section of the ship's propulsion system. The ship responded immediately, a soft vibration running through the hull. The lights in the cockpit pulsed with energy, and Eli felt the ship's presence as a gentle pressure in his mind. You feel it, Xylar said. I am aware of every movement, every pulse. You may not understand yet, but we are connected. Eli smiled. Connected, like a team. Yes, in a sense.
But remember, I am older than you can imagine. I have seen empires rise and fall.
You are new to the stars. You must respect the power you now hold. Eli nodded solemnly. I understand. Days turned into a week as Eli learned more. He discovered the ship's life support systems could purify any atmosphere, create food from energy, and even heal minor injuries. The memory core revealed star maps, some of which pointed to regions of space humans had never reached. Eli began marking them carefully, realizing that he now held the key to unexplored worlds. One evening, while studying a holographic map of a distant nebula, Eli felt a sudden chill. The ship's hum grew louder. He glanced around the cockpit. The lights flickered. Ally, Xylar said. I sense something approaching. Not human. Not friendly. Eli's heart raced. What do you mean? Energy signatures. Ships. Small. Fast. Hunting for ancient artifacts. They are aware of me. And they are coming! Eli swallowed hard. He had read stories of pirate groups that scavenged advanced alien technology, but this felt different. Xylar's voice carried urgency, but also calm. as if the ship itself was ready. "Can we defend ourselves?" Eli asked. "Yes, but you must follow my guidance exactly. Improvisation will not work here." Eli took a deep breath. He had faced pirates before, but never with technology this advanced. He had to trust Xylar completely. When the first shadow of the attacking ships appeared on the sensors, Eli's stomach tightened. The ships were sleek, black and fast, clearly designed for raiding alien relics. They didn't know what they were about to encounter. "Eli," Xylar said, "focus. We will not fight blindly. We will outthink them." The cockpit lit up as Xylar activated the shields. Energy waves flowed across the hull, bending light around the ship. Eli felt the ship shift gently, as if it were breathing. The attackers fired, but their energy beams scattered harmlessly. The ship moved with a speed and precision Eli could barely comprehend.
"Follow my commands exactly," Xylar said. Eli did.
He guided the ship through a series of maneuvers, dodging attacks, weaving between asteroids, and using gravity wells to confuse the enemy sensors. He felt exhilarated. Every instinct, every calculation mattered. He was human, but amplified by alien intelligence. Within minutes, the attackers were disoriented. The ship projected holographic decoys, making them chase shadows. Eli realized that Xylar was teaching him, not just protecting him. He was learning a new way of thinking, a new way of fighting. Finally, the raiders gave up, retreating with a mix of confusion and fear. Eli exhaled, heart pounding. The cockpit was silent, except for the soft hum of the ship. "You performed well," Xylar said. "But remember, this was a test. There are greater dangers out there. And not all will flee." Eli nodded. "I understand. We'll be ready." "Good," Xylar said. "Now you must decide. You can remain hidden, safe, in one system. Or you can use what you now possess to explore, to teach, to expand human reach. But know this, the choice carries responsibility." Eli looked at the stars beyond the viewport. He thought about the possibilities. Uncharted worlds, ancient civilizations, new allies, and new enemies. His mind raced with excitement. "I want to explore," he said finally. "I want to see the galaxy. And I want humans to learn, to grow." Xylar pulsed with a soft light, almost like approval. "Then we begin. But first, you must learn. The galaxy is vast, and knowledge without wisdom can be deadly." Over the next few days, Eli learned to navigate the ship fully. Xylar taught him alien navigation techniques, how to read star patterns that humans had never mapped, and how to interact with energy systems that defied conventional physics. Eli marveled at the speed of learning. Every day he felt more capable, more confident. He tested the engines again, this time traveling to the edge of human-mapped space. The ship moved effortlessly, faster than anything Eli had ever piloted. And for the first time, he felt a sense of freedom he had never known. The stars were no longer distant points of light. They were reachable, tangible, part of his own story now. At night, Eli would sit in the cockpit staring at the stars and speaking with Xylar. They talked about history, about the rise and fall of civilizations, and about the choices humans would face as they reached for the stars. Eli felt like he was not just a pilot. He was a guardian of knowledge, a bridge between species. But in the back of his mind, he couldn't shake the warning. Raiders, or worse, could come at any time. And he knew that this awakening, this gift from an ancient alien intelligence, was only the beginning. Eli Navarro stared at the glowing holographic star map before him, his mind racing. Xylar's guidance had taught him more than he had ever imagined possible. He could read alien symbols, navigate the ship through uncharted space, and even predict movements of nearby celestial bodies. Yet for all his confidence, a sense of caution lingered. "Eli," Xylar said, filling his mind with calm, steady thoughts, "we are not alone. Others are aware of me. They may seek the knowledge I hold. You must be vigilant." Eli nodded, fingers hovering over the console. He had seen the first wave of raiders flee days ago, but he knew that was only a test. The galaxy was full of hunters, scavengers, and opportunists. And now, carrying Xylar, he had become a prize unlike any other. He plotted a course toward an uncharted star system, a small cluster of planets barely detectable by human sensors. He wanted to explore, to understand what lay beyond the reach of human civilization. But Xylar's voice warned him constantly.
Patience, Eli. Jump too soon, and you may reveal yourself. Prepare! First, Eli worked tirelessly, scanning the regions ahead, analyzing energy patterns, and mapping safe routes. Every action was deliberate. Every decision carried weight. This was more than piloting a ship. It was responsibility for knowledge that could alter humanity. Days passed in quiet exploration. The ship responded effortlessly to Eli's commands. Its shields shimmered with energy, bending light around it. Its engines moved the vessel faster than any human ship, yet smooth, silent, almost graceful. Eli felt exhilarated, mastering technology far beyond Earth's reach. Then, without warning, the sensors flared. Red blips appeared on the holographic map, fast-moving ships approaching from multiple vectors. Ellie, Xylar said, voice tense. They are returning, not raiders. They are hunters.
They have tracked my energy signature. They will not stop until they have taken me. Eli's heart pounded. He had faced enemies before, but this was different.
The hunters' ships were faster, better armed, and clearly aware of Xylar's capabilities. This time, stealth alone would not protect him.
He gripped the controls. Then we fight smart.
Not hard. Exactly. Follow my guidance.
The hunters arrived in a blur of black shapes. Energy weapons flared, illuminating the void. Eli's ship hummed in response, shields activating instantly. For a moment he felt fear, but only for a heartbeat. Then he remembered Xylar's words. Human ingenuity combined with alien intelligence could overcome almost anything.
All right,
Eli whispered. Let's show them what humans can do. They weaved through asteroid fields, slaloming between massive rocks and comet tails. The hunters fired relentlessly, but the alien ship seemed to anticipate every attack, moving with a precision Eli could barely control. Focus on patterns, Eli, Xylar advised. They react predictably.
Exploit their overconfidence.
Eli's mind raced. He noticed a gap in the formation, a blind spot caused by a gravitational anomaly. With a deep breath, he accelerated the ship through it. The hunter's sensors faltered.
Their weapons overshot. Eli felt a surge of triumph.
He activated a holographic decoy, projecting multiple copies of the ship in every direction. The hunters fired at shadows, wasting energy and exposing themselves. Eli grinned.
They underestimated him. They underestimated humans. Hours passed in a tense game of strategy and movement.
Eli realized the fight was not just about survival. It was about choice, courage, and thinking faster than enemies who expected him to panic. Finally, the hunters, frustrated and depleted, retreated. Eli's ship floated in silence once more, pulsing faintly with energy, as if acknowledging his skill.
Well done, Xylar said. You acted with precision and courage. This is what separates humans from others. Your species has potential.
Eli exhaled, leaning back in his seat. He had never felt so alive. Not only had he survived a deadly encounter, but he had also realized something profound. Humans could rise beyond their limits when pushed.
But the victory came with a new weight. Eli now knew that he could not remain hidden forever.
Xylar's presence was both a blessing and a danger. Others would track the ship eventually. And Eli had to decide how to use the knowledge and power he now controlled. He studied the holographic maps again. Hidden worlds, ancient ruins, energy sources far beyond human capability, all waiting for discovery. Yet the hunters had been a reminder. Knowledge without wisdom could be deadly. Eli, Xylar said gently, you must choose. You can hide, remaining safe, or you can act. Use this gift to expand human reach, to teach, to explore.
but know that choice carries consequences. The galaxy will notice. Eli stared at the stars.
He thought of Earth, of the colonies struggling on the frontier, of humans barely scratching the surface of the stars. He thought of what Xylar had shown him, the intelligence of an entire civilization lost to time. And he knew the truth. He could hide, but that would waste potential.
Humans had the courage, the creativity, and the drive to grow. If he acted wisely, he could guide humanity to unimaginable heights. I choose to act, Eli said finally. I want to help humans reach beyond themselves. I want to explore, learn, and teach. We can't hide forever. The galaxy is too vast, too full of opportunity.
Xylar pulsed softly, almost like approval.
Then we begin. But remember, power without wisdom can destroy as easily as it can create.
We will proceed carefully. With that decision made, Eli set course for a nearby uncharted system. The ship responded instantly, engines humming as they jumped into faster-than-light travel. Stars stretched and blurred around them, and Eli felt an overwhelming sense of freedom. He was no longer just a salvage operator, he was a pioneer, carrying ancient knowledge into human hands. As they traveled, Xylar began to teach him more about alien systems.
They discovered a planet rich in resources, with ancient ruins buried beneath the surface. Eli marveled at the structures, towers made of crystal, machines embedded in stone, and energy conduits that still pulsed faintly after hundreds of years. This is a remnant of my creators, Xylar said. They built wonders, but also mistakes. Humans may learn from both. Eli's mind raced with possibilities. With Xylar's guidance, they could harvest energy sources, map star lanes, and even begin creating new colonies with knowledge far beyond Earth's technology. The thought thrilled him. Humanity could leap centuries ahead, guided by one human's courage and one alien ship's wisdom. But even as he planned, he felt the weight of responsibility. The galaxy was vast, and not everyone would welcome humans wielding alien knowledge. Some would fear them. Some would hunt them. Every choice carried consequences, and Eli knew that every decision could shape the fate of humanity. One night, as they drifted near a glowing nebula, Xylar spoke again. Eli, there is more to learn, but you must also teach. Humans must understand not just the technology, but the principles. Wisdom is as important as knowledge. Do you understand? Eli nodded. Yes. We can't just take these secrets. We must use them responsibly. For humans and for the galaxy. Good. Then we proceed. Ellie looked out at the stars, feeling a sense of purpose he had never known. He was no longer just a man chasing old ships. He was a human carrying the spark of potential, armed with ancient knowledge and ready to shape the future. The galaxy stretched before him, vast and mysterious, full of wonder, danger, and promise. And for the first time, Eli understood something profound. Humans could rise to greatness not because of luck, or tools, or strength, but because of curiosity, courage, and the choice to act wisely. He grinned, feeling the ship's pulse beneath his hands. Let's see how far we can go, Xylar.
Indeed, the ship responded. The journey has only just begun. And so, Eli Navarro, the man who had bought a 170-year-old abandoned ship for $5, set out to explore the stars, guided by an intelligence older than humanity itself.
The galaxy was vast, full of mystery and danger, but Eli was ready. He had chosen to act.
And with human ingenuity and alien knowledge combined, nothing would hold them back. The stars stretched endlessly outside the cockpit of the ancient ship. Eli Navarro leaned back in his chair, eyes fixed on the glowing points of light. With Xylar's guidance, he had crossed the edge of mapped space. Every jump, every new system revealed more wonders than he could have imagined. Nebulas glowed with colors he had never seen. Planets orbited dead suns, and moons carried strange ruins, remnants of civilizations long gone. Eli felt both awe and responsibility.
He was no longer just a salvage operator. He was humanity's pioneer. Each system he explored, each secret he uncovered could shape the future of the human race. And Xylar, pulsing softly in the ship's core, watched him with what felt like patience and pride. "Eli," Xylar said, voice calm and steady, "you have learned much, but now the galaxy tests your choice. Will you use this knowledge wisely?" Eli smiled. "I will. I have to."
Humans are ready to grow, and I can guide them safely.
Their first major stop was a small, rocky planet hidden in a distant system. Xylar called it AORUS-9. The surface was barren, winds whipping dust across jagged mountains, but beneath the soil lay something extraordinary. Ruins of a civilization that had once rivaled the stars themselves. Eli and Xylar spent days studying the site. Machines etched in alien metal still hummed faintly, powered by energy sources humans could only dream of. Crystals embedded in the walls glowed with stored power, and data nodes displayed holographic projections of alien history. These beings, Xylar said, were advanced beyond human imagination. Yet they fell not to enemies, but to their own mistakes. Their technology outpaced their wisdom.
That is why I survive, and why you have been chosen.
Ellie studied the holograms, feeling a mix of wonder and determination. Then it's our job to learn from them.
To teach humans without making the same mistakes.
Yes, Xylar said.
You must guide them carefully. Knowledge is power, but wisdom is survival.
The days turned into weeks as Eli and Xylar worked together. They built a small human outpost on AORUS-9, using Xylar's technology to make it self-sufficient. Energy shields surrounded the base, recycling systems purified air and water, and holographic libraries began teaching humans about alien science.
Colonists arrived slowly. First a few scientists, then engineers, then explorers. All marveled at the ship and the technology it carried.
Eli became a mentor, showing humans not only how to operate advanced systems, but also how to think creatively, to problem solve, and to act with courage. Remember, Eli told them one day, this is not just about machines.
It's about humans. You must learn to think, to explore, to grow. The universe will challenge you, but we can rise to meet it.
Word spread quickly across human space about Eli and the ancient ship.
Some were curious, some fearful. Traders and scientists came to AORUS-9 seeking knowledge. Others came to challenge them, hoping to claim Xylar's ship for themselves.
Eli knew that humanity was stepping into a larger stage, one where courage and cleverness would be tested repeatedly. Then, one night, Xylar spoke with urgency.
Eli, a signal has arrived, not from humans.
Something watches from beyond the nebula. A presence older than your race.
It knows we are here.
Eli's heart tightened.
Should we respond? Not yet. Observe. Learn. Prepare. Understanding is more powerful than fear.
Eli nodded, trusting Xylar. He studied the signal, analyzing its patterns, energy signature, and trajectory. It was unlike anything human sensors had ever detected. The presence seemed intelligent, aware, perhaps even sentient, and it had noticed Xylar, the last remnant of a civilization that had vanished centuries ago.
Weeks turned into months. Under Eli's guidance, humans on AORUS-9
began to thrive. They used Xylar's knowledge to develop faster-than-light travel, new energy sources, and defensive systems that rivaled the technology of known spacefaring civilizations. Humans were learning to reach beyond their limits, solving problems that once seemed impossible. Eli often stood on a hill overlooking the settlement, watching humans work together, building, learning, exploring. He felt pride swelling in his chest. Humanity had potential, not just to survive, but to thrive. They are learning, he said, quietly. They're ready to take the next step.
Yes, Xylar replied. Your species has courage, curiosity, creativity. You are worthy.
But even as humans flourished, Eli never forgot the warning. Out in the darkness, the unknown presence lingered. One evening, the signal strengthened, coalescing into a message of strange symbols. Eli activated the ship's decoding systems, and for the first time, he could interpret parts of it. It was a greeting, but also a challenge. The message spoke of guardians, watchers of ancient knowledge, who monitored civilizations that acquired dangerous power.
The alien presence had seen what Xylar carried and was curious, but cautious. Eli, Xylar said, this is a test, another step.
You must show humanity's worth. You must act with wisdom, not recklessness.
Eli clenched his fists. Then we'll show them.
Humans are capable. We will rise to meet this challenge.
And we will do it with intelligence and courage. The next weeks were filled with preparation.
Eli trained humans in alien systems, mapped new star lanes, and explored nearby planets for resources and ancient knowledge. Every expedition brought discoveries. Every challenge strengthened human resolve.
Humans were beginning to grasp the value of curiosity, courage, and collaboration, traits that had allowed them to survive and thrive, just as Xylar had said.
One day, Eli and Xylar explored a hidden chamber beneath AORUS. 9. Inside, they found a vast archive of alien data.
Holographic records of wars, diplomacy, art, and science filled the room. The more Eli explored, the more he understood the greatness and the mistakes of civilizations far older than humanity.
This knowledge is dangerous, Xylar warned. Use it wisely. Teach humans to grow, not to destroy. Eli nodded. We will.
They will learn. And they will become something greater than we imagined.
Years passed. AORUS 9 became a beacon of human achievement. Scientists, engineers, and explorers came from all over to study under Eli's guidance.
They built new ships, explored uncharted systems, and discovered ancient ruins on distant planets. Humanity was no longer limited to the edge of known space. They were rising, guided by courage and knowledge. Eli often thought back to the day he had bought the ship for $5. If he hadn't been curious, bold, and reckless enough to take that chance, none of this would have happened. A 170-year-old abandoned ship had become the catalyst for humanity's greatest adventure. Xylar, Eli said one night, staring at the stars. Do you think we're ready for what's out there? Humans are ready, Eli, the ship replied, not because of technology alone, but because you have shown that courage, curiosity, and wisdom are the greatest powers of all.
The galaxy will test you, and you will rise.
Eli smiled. Somewhere beyond the nebula, the unknown presence watched them, waiting for signs of growth, strength, and wisdom. Eli knew it was only the beginning. Humanity had taken its first steps into a larger universe, and nothing could stop it. Not enemies, not danger, not time. He looked at the stars, feeling the pulse of Xylar beneath his hands. The ship had lived for 170 years, waiting for someone like him.
Now, humanity's story was beginning, and Eli knew that the choices they made would echo across the galaxy. Let's keep moving forward, he said, determination in his voice. For humans, for knowledge, and for the future. And with that, the 170-year-old ship, guided by a human mind, pulsed with energy and leapt into the stars. The galaxy stretched endlessly before them, full of mystery, danger, and wonder. And humanity, led by courage, curiosity, and ingenuity, had begun its greatest adventure yet. The legacy of Xylar's civilization would live on, not just as a memory, but as a foundation for humanity's rise among the stars.
Eli smiled once more, knowing that the universe had endless possibilities.
With courage, intelligence, and heart, humans could face anything.
And this was only the beginning.